statistics of violence against children in South Africa are among the highest in the world. The alleged bungling of some cases by state officials compounds the problem of the protection of victims of abuse. In one such suspected case, officials wrongly removed a child from her primary caregiver.
1 minute I have my child, the next somebody's coming in to take my child, and the most painful part, it's the law is taking my child away from me.
The child's uncle says he was wrongfully charged for his niece's alleged rape, and his ordeal, including imprisonment, has left him with physical and emotional scars.
Billboards, I used to appear in front of people with chains on my ankles, on my wrists, on my waist, and every day I would be going to court.
A family is left in disarray as a result of an apparently inept system. Now, both the alleged victim's mother and the accused uncle are calling for justice. For the child, the damage may have gone too far for the truth to ever According to the mother of this now 6-year-old little girl from Soweto, for 4.5 years she was a normal, happy child until 2019, when her life script changed.
The 2019 in March. So for the first time, the father of the child requested that he wants to take the child to Kimberley to go and see his paternal side.
She says although their child's uncle objected to her going, she held a different view.
I thought that it's very good for the child to now start having a relationship with his father because he's been absent, you know. I said, no, let the father take the child.
A decision which would change the life of the family and that of the little girl forever.
I went to fetch the child on Friday. And then when I brought the child at home, the child went to the bathroom, and then she came back crying and saying her vagina is painful. And then I asked her what happened, and then she said, "Umalumu fagu muno," you know. And then I was still now processing because the child went to Kimberley, and then there's this malume that is my brother now who stays who is, you know, where the child is during the week.
After informing the father about what their child had said, they went to the Tutuzela Care Center, a rape crisis facility at the Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital in Soweto.
There was a sister that was in duty on that day, so she said that she would inspect the child, and then she took the child and then placed her in the bed, and then she did an inspection, and then she did say that it seems like something got inside the child's vagina. However, her hymen is still intact.
She says the father then opened a rape case against the child's maternal uncle. With the rape case opened, the law had to take its course and the uncle was arrested. We spoke to the uncle from the hospital where he was admitted for a fractured ankle, allegedly resulting from his arrest. He explained his alleged ordeal from when the police officer arrested him.
From my mother's gate, he was speeding. He was speeding so bad that I
licenses, they receive a minimum of 10 years behind bars. Events were interrupted after the niece he allegedly raped was referred to the Teddy Bear Clinic for further assessment.
Okay, so this is
Many medical examinations, which one refers to as the J88, where they're looking for any physical evidence of sexual abuse. What we usually find that in more than 80 to 90% of the cases, there aren't any conclusive physical findings. So there isn't any physical evidence present to say that the child has definitely been abused.
However, she says that is not a basis for concluding that no abuse has occurred.
That's when a forensic assessment is conducted to find out that, is there reliability? Are there specific themes coming across? Is the child showing signs of trauma? However, one needs to, of course, explore it to its fullest extent with using specific age-appropriate techniques and methods with the child.
The child was 4.5 years old when she went for the assessment.
There were 4 sessions that were conducted with the child. It came out that the child's evidence, there was inconsistencies, inability to recall even, recent past events. So there were definite challenges, unfortunately, with the child in the ability to recall any form of abuse.
In the absence of evidence from the child's assessment, the court withdrew the case against the uncle after he spent 4 months in prison.
Magistrate will apologize when I walked inside the court and said the state has failed me and I have stayed in prison for something that I did not do. And he said that it's a shame that something like this has happened to a person with a bright future.
The child's mother says justice has not been served.
As a mother as well, using my instincts, I think something happened at Kimberley, but because of, also the father of the child, when we went to Tutuzela and then I explained the case, he then concluded in his mind that it's my brother at the time. I still have a question. My child went to Kimberley, my child came back, my child said something was, a finger was inserted in her vagina. Until to date, I don't know what happened.
But did officials follow due process in handling this case from the onset?
what do we call this?
This Soweto family not only had to deal with the alleged bungling of the rape case of their child against her uncle. Due to processes which were allegedly not properly followed, the rape case was withdrawn. In addition, the child is now caught up in her parents' custody battle. The child's mother alleges that from the onset, the social worker did not verify the allegations as due process requires. for 9 months. She says she was only allowed to take her for a day visit on Christmas Day.
She lost weight. She was so thin, you know, she was not happy. She was not happy in such a way. When I took her back, she cried so bitterly. I think it just took us time to like separate. I also didn't want to take her back, but the magistrate did say that if I don't comply, they will arrest me for 6 months for non-compliance. So I had to let her go.
In January 2020, a final custody decision based on the social worker's investigation was expected, but the case was postponed a number of times, in part due to the lockdown. In a desperate attempt to help his sister get her child back, the child's uncle posted about the case on social media, and soon afterwards, a new social worker was appointed to take over the case.
She then started doing all the investigations. I was happy because when I told her something, when she was investigating, she would go and verify if it is true. She went to schools to take the child. She went to see where I'm staying. She even went to where the child was staying. When we went to court, everything that she investigated then could be proven. That's when the magistrate then said the child must be, I must get back the child.
The child was returned to her mother almost 9 months later on an interim order, pending a parental plan between both parents.
Before they gave me my child, I then asked, I don't understand, why was my child taken away from me? Even to date, I don't understand why she was taken away from me. She said, I'm giving you the child now because the only evidence that I rely on or that I make my decision based on is the recommendation of the social worker.
At the time of editing this program, the Gauteng Department of Social Development said it was investigating the alleged bungling of the custody case by the initial social worker. In a separate incident, another parent has similarly expressed dissatisfaction with the state's handling of a case relating to his children. He is embroiled in a custody battle for his 2 children against their maternal grandparents, with whom they've been living since their mother died in 2017. The grandparents declined our offer to respond to the allegations.
When she passed on, I immediately requested to visit my children, to go and see my children. And the grandparents of my children refused me. They said, you can't come here now. We don't want you. We don't even want you to come and attend the funeral. I had to then take it to court. I trusted the justice system, that they would hear my story, at least for me to have access to my children, at least for me to raise my own children, because I've been with these children ever since they were born.
Mondlane says he wasn't prepared for his experience of the child custody system.
A father is actually charged an amount of 9,900 rands or more just to be clinically assessed. And if you say put it in writing, they're not going to put it in writing because this is just their own scheme. So they've created a web around them that benefits them. It is not in the best interest of a child.
In protest against the hefty charges,
The issue of grandparents coming in between two people who are supposed to take care of their own children.
More parents are complaining about the alleged ineptitude of officials in child custody cases. Gary Da Silva is the chairperson of Fathers for Justice, an organization that advocates for fathers' rights to parental care during custody battles.
Lawyers, advocates, psychologists, social welfare workers, and mediators. This has nothing to do about what is right for the child. It is everything about making blood money as long as possible off the suffering of our children. Okay, this whole industry is driven by money.
Da Silva says, among other problems, the hefty fees charged in custody cases deny fathers the right to raise their children.
The average contact care, guardianship maintenance, and divorce case can take anything between 5 and 8 years at a minimum cost of between 600,000 and 2 million rand. The Department of Social Development has a lot of blood on their hands. If you have a look at if you have a look at social welfare workers, our experience of them is invariably, at the very least, they are negligent by doing nothing, right through to being actively complicit in the continuation of the abuse.
The Gauteng Department of Social Development says social workers are doing their best to resolve custody cases. The custody case of the Soweto child is yet to be finalized. While her parents are embroiled in this battle, her uncle, whose alleged rape case has been withdrawn, says he now seeks compensation.
People used to picket outside a court with billboards. I used to appear in front of people with chains on my ankles, on my wrists, on my waist. And every day I would be going to court. There would be people shouting my name, saying very ugly things. But when the court decided that they decided to withdraw the case, it was a secret date that was given.
In his quest to highlight his experience, he also posted his matter on social media. The post attracted the attention of an attorney who took up his case pro bono.
When someone is being accused of something as serious as rape, in essence, you can never make a comeback. Be it from life, business, you'll always be labeled as such.
Masinga believes there are loopholes in the police investigation.
There was supposed to be some sort of a full investigation, given the fact that the child was traveling from Kimberley to Soweto. So if they say the child, there appears to be something that went through the child's private, they're not able to say exactly when did that happen.
In addition, he claims more factors contributed to the bungling of the case. He alleges that the J88 form detailing evidence of sexual assault was not filled in. Medical practitioners are required to complete the J88 form in their first interaction with their victims. The latest Rape Justice in South Africa report raises concerns about the completion of J88 forms, which it says are often not fully completed or are poorly completed. Due to confidentiality concerns, we could not verify the lawyer's claim that the J88 form wasn't completed in this case. We were also informed that the nurse who conducted the medical examination at the Tutuzela Care Center where the child was taken was no longer under their employ. Without the J88 form, crucial evidence to verify the allegations that she may have been sexually assaulted may have been completely lost.
What is it that they base their assessment on? In the sense that that's why we're not aware if there's any, I mean, there's no J88. It is only a what you call those reports that are one-sided, since they were not compiled after consulting with my client still.
Masinya says he's proceeding to sue the Minister of Police on behalf of his client for unlawful arrest and detention, pain and suffering, loss of earnings, and malicious prosecution. The uncle has also lodged a complaint against the police officer whom he says is responsible for his injuries. A 2019 Economist Intelligence Unit report ranked South Africa 15th out of 40 countries on its measures to protect children from abuse and 7th on its protective legal framework. But these numbers are no consolation for traumatized families who have come face to face with the downside of the system. Their uncle is still fighting for his name to be cleared. In the absence of clarity on whether or not the child was indeed sexually molested, the family can hope that somehow justice will one day be served.